This is going to be a fun one today. We're going to talk about the botch, or whatever you want to call it, botch on purpose, screw up by the referee, whatever you want to call it. But the issue that took place with the referees and the Detroit Lions there. Talk a little bit about the playoffs, who the Lions are going to face. We're probably going to be the number 3 seed, like 95% chance. There's still a shot at the number 2 seed. We'll get into that a little bit and just talk about the latest Lions news, how the Lions are getting blamed for the screw-up, because that makes a lot of sense. Let's go. 800 subs from 10,000 subscribers. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 10,000. That would be a big-time mark for this channel. Get to 10K with, about a year and a half in. That's pretty good. So I appreciate everyone that subscribed. Let's go ahead and talk about the playoffs really quick. The Lions seem to be locked in at the number 3. I'd say about 95% chance. There's still a shot they get the number 2 seed. That's if Dallas and Philadelphia lose and the Lions win. They'd get actually the number 2 seed. Dallas got to face the Washington Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles got to face the New York Giants. And I got to say, Philadelphia has a legit shot to lose this game. They have been playing terrible. They just lost the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what's going on over there in Philadelphia, but look, if you're concerned that the Lions would have to travel to Philadelphia, may not have to be too much concerned here shortly, because they really could drop that game. And the Dallas Cowboys got to travel to the Washington Commanders. Who knows how that one works out right there. And then the Lions face the Vikings, whom we don't know what team's going to show up for Minnesota. Is the players actually going to show up for that football team? I don't know. They didn't show up for Green Bay. They got dominated last night. It was destruction. It's feel like they packed it in. We don't really know what the Lions are going to do right now for the starters. I'm going to assume they're probably going to play throughout this game. Dan Campbell's going to talk in a press conference today at 2 p.m., so maybe you already know by the time you listen to this. We'll find out more there. I'm really excited to hear about that, because I can't really make a whole lot of videos regarding news or information until I know that, because we got to do Lions versus Vikings breakdown and all of that. Well, I can't really break it down unless we know who's going to be legitimately, if they're going to play in this game, or if they're going to play for a quarter or all 4 quarters because they're trying to get the 2 seed or what. So we'll wait until we get the information on there to really break that game down. But Lions got a legit shot. Obviously, still, well, not one legit, but a small shot to get that number 2 seed. I think you got to fight on it. Maybe C.J. Gardner-Johnson finally comes back. He dealt with the injury since week 2. That would be great to see him on the field, even though they may not. They may not. Don't really know right now. James Houston, I wouldn't expect him to play in this game. Expect him to do it for the wild card game, whoever we play. And that could be the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, and or the Green Bay Packers as of right now. It could switch, if all teams lose, a bunch of teams lose and the Minnesota wins, maybe it's another repeat. But those seems to be like the likely teams that the Lions would face. So what team would you like to face in the wild card round? I would like to face the Green Bay Packers for kind of a revenge game from the Thanksgiving Day game. That's my personal preference. I know a lot of you guys like to face the Rams because of, obviously, Stafford returning to Detroit, and you would like to get that off your back. Me, personally, I'm not too concerned about that. In all honesty, he wanted to trade. You go over there. I think it'd be more of a Jared Goff revenge game more than anything, because he's not the one that requested a trade. He got traded. So there's that storyline out there, and, of course, the NFL would definitely love for that to happen. Or Seattle Seahawks, where they beat us now 2 years in a row at our house. Would you like Seattle to come to Detroit and face the Lions in a revenge game there? Actually, Seattle worries me the most of all the wild card teams, because they've had our number the last couple years, and they have proven they can come to Detroit and beat us. And mobile quarterbacks always hurt us, and Geno Smith is mobile. So I'd rather face a statue Stafford, a guy who's predominantly stands in the pocket. He's a pocket passer. Now, look, he can get out of the pocket, but he's not Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Lamar Jackson. He's not even, I wouldn't even say he's Russell Wilson. So he's more of a guy that stands in the pocket. I think the Lions' defense is better that way, in all honesty. I would prefer it, in my opinion, to go for the quarterback that stands in the pocket compared to one that's run around. The way the Lions' defense is playing, I think we can get a couple turnovers on Matthew Stafford with the Futu Melifonwu, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. I think these guys are turnover machines, and Stafford has shown that he could do some turnovers. So I think from a matchup perspective, in all honesty, it'd probably be the Rams would be the best matchup you would want to see. Green Bay, again, mobile quarterback. Seattle, mobile quarterback. But just from a revenge, I'd like to face the Packers. But, hey, let me know in the comment section who you guys want to face. Referees, let's get into it. I know a lot of people are mad, sad. They think of conspiracy theories is ridiculous, all of that. And everyone's a right to all their opinions out there. You all have the right to believe whatever you want to believe in. And look, that's your right. But here's the facts of the matter. With the video evidence showed, Taylor Decker did go up to the referee. He wasn't saying Merry Christmas. Okay, he was saying that he's eligible. The referee assumed it was Dan Skipper, number 70. I think he just assumed it. And that's the problem there. This referee has been bad in multiple games. It's not just this game. It's been multiple games. Personally, I think he should be fired. The way that I see it, if you screw up your job this bad, you shouldn't have a job. I was in the Army. The Army is very hardcore on how you operate. It's very strict. How you got to get a go. There's pass or not pass. It's pass or fail, right? It's go or no go. And if you fail, you fail. It's cutthroat. It is what it is. I think that's the way it should be with these referees when you're talking about big-time games. My last job working at a hospital is cutthroat. You misspell a word or do something very, something that you may think would be extremely minute, and they're very hardcore on it. So, in my opinion, with the amount of mistakes that this Brad Allen has made, he should be terminated from his job. That's my opinion. Going forward, what I would like to see is referees that are full-time. That's my personal preference. Do I think it changes? No, I don't think it's going to change. That is my personal opinion. That may be Debbie Downer, but it's shown that it hasn't changed. The only way for legit change to happen in the NFL is if the media in which they did do the outrage continues to laud how bad the referees are and promote the idea of full-time referees, or the government and get involved because of the gambling type of stuff. That is the legit reason. I think that the NFL personally don't care about it that much, in all honesty. And they've shown it by blaming the Detroit Lions for this issue. Even though Brad Allen clearly lied. Guess what? The NFL blames the Detroit Lions per Mike Florio. Source of the knowledge of the situation, the NFL does not plan to change the procedure for players reporting as eligible. The league views the situation as effort by the Lions to engage in deception and gamesmanship that backfired. That's they don't look at themselves and correct the mistakes. You can easily go in this game and say Dan Campbell made a mistake, Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions. There's reasons that we've lost this game. We all can say it. 2 things can be right at one time, right? And the referee screwed the Detroit Lions. And so, but they never admit defeat. They're always right. And that's the problem with organizations, or in this case, the same with Brad Allen, the referee himself, is they're not humble and they refuse to acknowledge their mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody screws up, and they'll never acknowledge it. And he won't acknowledge it. He should, because he clearly lied. I mean, you literally can look at the video. I'm sure there's audio evidence out there. It will probably never be heard, and you'll never hear it. I'd love to hear it. Man, I wish Taylor Decker was mic'd up. I would love that. That's the situation, and it stinks. I think change needs to happen for sure. And this is just a year. This year, the referees have been atrocious throughout the NFL. I've been saying it all year. It was a matter of time before it happened. Lines. I've been calling the referees. They've been doing horrible this year. I've been calling for it, and it's only a matter of time before the snake bit us, and it bit us. And now we Lions fans are upset. But this has been taking place in the NFL all year long. Bad referees and a multi-billion-dollar business. The way that the NFL is, it's either incompetence that they don't make a change with the referees, or they just don't care. It's one of the two, because any business that you're screwing up this bad, like, adjustments are made. It's just the way it is. I mean, we all have jobs. If you're a business owner, you're probably very strict with rules and how you operate. If you're an employee, you have rules you owe to abide by. And that's how it should be operated as a business, as it is a business. In business, you're always trying to improve. Unfortunately, the NFL is not. They're literally the worst referees in all of sports. And it's shocking, because they're the most, wealthy business of all the sports. But they're the worst in the referees. And that's just the facts of the situation. Will things I hope things change. I want things to change. I don't think it will. I want things to change. And maybe it's because Roger Goodell's at the top. I don't know. But I can tell you what, when the NFL draft happens, you know how they boo Roger Goodell at the NFL draft? It's going to be so loud of boos when the Lions, or when he opens the NFL draft. It's going to be glorious. So I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that. But voice your frustration. You have the right to be frustrated. You have the right to be upset. You are a fan of a team that it seems to have the calls go against us predominantly. And it's unfortunate. Lions Talk Live, Dan himself showed that the Lions are 3 times more funky calls than any team in the NFL over the last decades. That's insane. That's ridiculous. 3 times, and then the next team is at 31. So, that it is what it is. But blow up the comment section. Let's turn this into a debate. With that said, folks, adios.